Back everyone, welcome back to the final two qualifying matches of the broadcast and of the GSL Season 2. After we wrap up all these qualifying matches, we will go over the full set of brackets and the full list of players that have made it through and haven't. Definitely excited to see how the rest of the brackets did turn out, as we are only covering those qualifying matches. So exciting times here when it comes to finding out who and what GSL Season 2 is going to be looking like, as we are getting into our second last series of the broadcast, jumping into a PvP between Zoun and sOs. Here we go. Again, sOs, he made his return not too long ago. He has been back for some time, for a couple of months at this point. We have featured sOs competing in online open cups. He did not look too bad at all in GSL Season 1, but how does he compare to a player that didn't leave, a player that has been more consistent? I say that, recently returned from the military. How does he compare to Zoun? Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Leylands, we have our blue Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss, but Streamer Zone, it is sOs. I'll fix up his name. I got you. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have for Team Vitality, the South Green Protoss player, the red Protoss, it is Zoun. Here we go. Again, a bit of a different story between our two players. sOs, of course, he did retire. He straight up retired from StarCraft. He did leave and he just spent some time elsewhere. I think sOs, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's one of those players that didn't even do his military service, as in he just retired. Like, and I remember he spent some time doing some other things, working his IRL career, and I don't know if he did go to the studies or anything like that. But yes, just to confirm, yeah, he has yet to conduct his military service from my understanding, but did just step away from the game and recently did come back. Recently did express interest in returning for EWC, but what I will say is that he's still been looking rough around the edges. Like, he's been a little bit cheeky, but he's not anywhere near as aggressive or chaotic as he was previously, back in his heyday, back in Heart of the Swarm. He's not anywhere near as aggressive or chaotic, but has been looking decent so far. And again, last time we saw him was in GSL Season 1. Coming into Season 2, how's he looking? How does he compare? How has he improved? Meanwhile, Zoun, he did leave for the military. He came back, of course, around October, November of last year, and he rose up real fast and real quick. Like, the rate of progression from Zoun was insane. He came back from the military, and 1 month later, he beat Clem. Like, that's great. The world champion. For those who don't remember, it was in December. It was back in December of last year. After he was back for a month, he played in Alima League, and he did bring Clem down in a long macro game as well in a best of 3. It was crazy to see Zoun's rate of improvement. What I will say is that Zoun, currently his weakest matchup, the matchup that he has to work on the most, it does look like PvZ. It looks like PvZ matchup is his weakest at the moment, but he's looking quite strong and quite competitive against Terran and against Protoss. That's where Zoun does thrive currently, I would say. For now, to get opener into a natural expansion, stay that opener out of Zoun does fan out. Meanwhile, we do see sOs going for, I would imagine, tech first, as the pylon block will delay him, but sOs, he will expand. Okay, so mirrored build so far, 2-gate opener into a Nexus from sOs. Just a little bit more delayed compared to Zoun. So it is going to be more delayed. Meanwhile, as we said, Lindsay said, big shout out to Lord, a champion in the chat. God, baby God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it, as sOs does move out across the map. So far, Zoun is in position, is ready. His form is pretty good, but I don't think he's on the level of Hero, Zoun, or Trigger. Yeah, I think sOs, right now, I think I would place him at the bottom of the Korean Protosses. Like, unfortunately, like, he's good, but like below Hero, Classic, Zoun. I think I might place him above Nightmare, but that's also because Nightmare isn't playing. Like, Nightmare, he's competing in Deadlock at the moment. So Nightmare, he isn't devoting as much time to StarCraft. So sOs, at least from what we've seen, he still has a ways to go. when it comes to keeping up with the other Korean Protosses. But he's here for it, right? Like, that's why I'm excited to see how he does in the GSL Season 2 qualifiers, see how much he has improved since Season 1. So I'm here for it. I am ready for it. As Zoun does have found out his workers. We're going to scatter across the map. Meanwhile, SOS claiming his third base. So far, SOS playing very standard. And again, this is what we expect. If you've been watching SOS as of late, as I mentioned before, just to re-emphasize, like SOS, he hasn't been anywhere near as like aggressive or cheesy that he once was in the past. We've seen a little more standard play. It's kind of like Stats. When Stats came back last year, Stats, he was known as like the Shield of Fire and being like hyper defensive back in the day. But last year when he was competing, he was mixing it up, playing standard. He was going for all-ins. He was going for a lot more all-ins, actually. It's very different to what he was once known for. That's what I should say. So we are moving out, going for hallucinations, scouting across the map. So far, a bit of a passive start here. Both players getting to their third bases. Blink is on the way, +1. Immortal production from the side of SOS. A bit of a later forge here, slightly later upgrades. But so far, very stock standard. I think we can safely assume Stats is retired as well. Yes, Stats, he's one of those players that did silently retire. Where there was no announcement, there was no big announcement or anything like that. He just didn't come back for season 1 of GSL, and I mean, we'll check, but I don't think he came back for season 2 of GSL. But that would be a sign, right? If he didn't show up for either qualifier, then did quietly retire, which is a shame, because if you remember, Stats last year he was at IM Katowice. He was at IM Katowice, and if you remember, when he was there was an interview, and he said that that being at IM at an offline event again did like reinvigorate him to like want to compete again and want to play again. Like it was a big motivating factor for him, being at IM. But from here, Zoun poking in, nice snipe, takes out a sentry. Does it catch a sentry? Likewise, Zoun claiming a fourth base. From here, we're just taking up. So the way the tech path works here in PvP, the standard like trajectory here is Blink Stalker into Immortal, into Charge Lots, and then into Archons. Charge Lots, they do an amazing job at tanking against this kind of composition, against Immortal Stalker. They also do a great job tanking and of course close the distance and trading efficiently. So how do you counteract that? With splash damage. Some players will go into Robo, into Colossus. That is like an alternate route, but what you want typically are Archons. There we go, High Templar, they're morphing in, and Archons are on the way. I mean, a nice catch. Oh, SOS paid it out. Blink is on cooldown. 1, 2, 3 Stalkers almost going to be falling, getting 2 in the end. Better catch here from Zoun. But SOS, he's massing, he's pushing. Here we go. The Prism is on the way. This tells us that SOS is going to pull the trigger. He's pulling the trigger. Likewise, SOS, he does not begin +2, so no further upgrades. +2 is about to finish up for Zoun, so Zoun has a massive upgrade lead. But Zoun, is he ready for this? Shield batteries are on the way. He's throwing down 3 shield batteries. He's throwing down cannons as well. He's lacking Archons, just the 1. So only 1 Archon here for Zoun. But he will have a bunch of site defense. Likewise, force fields as well. So here we go. It's all or nothing for SOS. He's basically 3-base all in. 3-base all in. Oh no! The Prism! Prism gets sniped. Massive pick off. No more reinforcements. Wait, that collapse in. Getting some of the shield batteries. The force fields. Oh my god. Zelda get locked down. Archon will break some of the force fields. But overall, a better engagement here from Zoun. SOS, he was up in supply, but you know what they say? The soup does lie. The soup does lie here at Zoun. He does dominate the fight, takes out the Immortals one after the other. And again, +2 does kick in. These are slow lots, by the way. Like Zoun, he doesn't even have charge. Charge isn't even done. GG gets called, and Zoun, he shuts down the push, shuts down the all-in, and Zoun takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Zoun, he was playing towards a longer game state. Remember, Zoun, he was getting a 4th expansion. He had +2. He didn't even have charge towards the end there, but he was able to scout it ahead of time. He was able to be active, able to confirm that there was no expansion, there was no base, and he was also able to spot the move outs. Another big factor, of course, Zoun was able to outposition SOS and snipe the Warp Prism. Very nice snipe there from Zoun, able to come in from behind, make sure there were no reinforcements, and make sure there was no added micro potential from SOS either. When it came to the main fight, SOS, he was up like 20-ish supply. He did have a larger army, that is true. He even had charge over his opponents, but really good use of force fields. We saw that Zoun, he completely locked down those zealots, and even though Zoun didn't have charge himself, he was able to close the distance regardless and take the fight. GG, well played. A very impressive setup there, very impressive engagement out of Zoun, and that leads us into game number 2. Let's go. And we'll see if SOS can bounce back and recover. We'll see if Zoun will close it out. As we get into this, a big shout out to SW Pro #1 in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream, hope you had a great ladder session, hope you had a great time, and I hope you're looking forward to DreamHack Dallas. Of course, DreamHack Dallas is right around the corner. It is going to be in a couple of hours. Oh boy. So I hope you have your snacks, your food. Hope you're ready for a weekend of StarCraft. As we are jumping into our next game and spawning in the... I have to fix up the names. Hold on. And spawning in the right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we do have our South Korean... our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Streamer Zone. It is SOS. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Red Protoss player, representing Team Vitality, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. Here we go. As our players are going to be settling in. And again, last game was a very standard game out of SOS. Initially, of course, it did lead into an all-in. It led into a 3-base all-in where he never invested into +2. He never got a 4th base either. He did cut workers and just committed, I want to say, on 56 probes. That was just under 3-base saturation. But alas, Zoun, he was able to slow it down ahead of time, scatter ahead of time, and be prepared and be ready. So we'll see if SOS has something different to bring to the table here. In my mind, at least, the pressure is on SOS to do something cheeky, to go for an all-in, like I guess like what we just saw, go for something more aggressive, go for some hidden tech. Playing a straight-up game against Zoun is going to be difficult. As we do go for the pylon block. Both players, of course, going for the initial gate cyber expand. Ooh, which means, is SOS one to embrace Phoenixes? I know that Zoun would be. As there we go, Stargate opener out of Zoun, and we should be seeing a Stargate out of SOS as well. Basically what's happening here is that both players open up economically, both players want to expand, but because of the pylon blocks, they have to make a Zealot and they have to spend their money elsewhere. They cannot expand to be efficient, they have to throw down the tech structure, and SOS is going for this Cybercore block. Does block across the map. SOS is yet to throw down his Stargate. It looks like he wants to expand. Yeah, he does refuse to throw down the Stargate. Cybercore will delay. And the Nexus is going to be thrown down. So SOS, he will have the slightly faster expansion as the Nexus is now on the way. Oh. That's a little bit awkward here. So SOS, he does go for the Stargate before the expansion, but this is actually a pretty late Stargate out of SOS. And it could have been much sooner. Much sooner. Adept gets in, Adept does scout, does confirm, is where the Stargate gets into the main. Doesn't get much damage, does get scout information. Adept does go down. There's a cancel. Okay, this makes more sense. This makes a lot more sense here as SOS does cancel. On the one hand, I appreciate the mind games, but on the other hand, where are we going with this? What is the plan? Zoun already does open up Oracle, and with this Oracle, he can just confirm. Oracle does poke in. And Oracle confirms, yep, does see everything. Probe's going to be going down. Shield race too late. It's getting 1, 2, 3 probe kills. Oh, just 2 for now. 2 2 pro kills so far. And Zoun has full confirmation of the cancelled Stargate. So instead of going for a gateway into a faster Twilight Council, Zoun, he was already going for a Robo. A Robo is kind of what you want to go for if your opponent is going into Blink Stalker. Robo allows for Immortals. So on the one hand, SOS is going to have the higher gateway count, the higher Stalker count, and more Blink Stalkers. Zoun, to make up for that, Immortal production. We should be seeing Immortals on the horizon to kind of make up for that deficit. Yep, there it is. Immortals on the way. So SOSC should be able to gain map control, and Zoun should be the defender instead, with his Immortals. I'm also assuming that it's going to be Blink and not something more all-in like Glaive Adepts from the side of SOS. Speaking of more all-in, going into charge, okay. Is going to be rushing into charge. Interesting decision here. Now, we spoke earlier, charge lots, they do really well against Stalker Immortal compositions. They do a great job tanking shots and dealing damage. What you need against them is something more splash damage heavy, something like Colossus or Archons. So it's going to be on Zoun to figure out what's going on. Reality is if he commits too hard into Immortals, then he can be overwhelmed. Another alternate answer to this is to go into Glaive Adepts. That can work as well. Hallucination does scouts. But there's no tell here that it's going to be charged until we throw down the Templar Archives, which did get scouted. Did he click? Did he click? Is he aware? Prism is on the way. Gateway Explosion. Zoun, he doesn't expand. He may be pushing himself instead. I feel like that's going to favor SOS. We'll see. SOS is being contained. Zoun getting ready for his push. SOS, he does confirm. So he's going to be delayed. Zoun claiming his own expansion instead. And again, I don't think Zoun is fully aware of what's going on yet. Poking in. He does see the Archon. A very early Archon. Zoun pushing forward. Now, if SOS was banking Zealots, I would favor him here. And he is now warping in, but it's still going to be a bit of an awkward engagement. Only 7 Zealots? That's not that many. Charge is revealed. Let's go, the fake Archons. I mean, that'll do it. The goal here, of course, a tank. Takes down the Stalker. Zoun moving in. Gateways are under fire. SOS, he has to retreat. Completes out a gateway. Oh, Likewise, nice target firing. Almost gets the Archon. Going for the Sentry instead. Zealots, they try to engage with a choke point, working against the Zealots. Again, these hallucinations, they do a great job body blocking. And now going to be running out. Force Field gets broken. Zealots, they just cannot engage, not into this choke point. Ay, ay, ay. And Zaddy's done it. He's done it. He overwhelms. No shield. There's a shield battery in the mineral line, but he just blinks in, takes down the Prism, takes down the Immortal, takes down everything. As SOS is being overrun. Again, it was a quirky build out of SOS, but it didn't really come together, unfortunately. It was a little bit haphazard, and GG gets called. Zoun, he will claim the series 2-0, qualifying for GSL. GG. GG, well played, Zoun. He will claim the series. He will advance on into GSL. Congratulations. My condolences to SOS. It was a quirky build. I wouldn't even call it a charge all-in. because it wasn't. He expanded. He got to third base, he expanded with it. It was a charge base opener into Archons, but he didn't quite commit across the map. He took another base, he was teching up, getting to Immortals. It was a little bit disjointed there from SOS. It felt very very uncommitted, where it's like either commit to an all-in or get into a longer game. Didn't do either. It was didn't do either in the end, and he was shut down. So GG, well played. Zoun, he will qualify, redeeming himself once again. Zoun, as a reminder, he failed to qualify last season. He did not qualify for GSL. Zoun, he was out in the qualifiers, so now he's back. Now he's here, he's back. He will be a part of GSL. Well done, well played. SOS, he will have another chance to make it through. Up next is going to be SOS versus Solar in the final qualifying match.